Hi everybody, Rose here. So today we're going to make these little fat mushrooms. We're going to improve on them. I just started to improve on them right before I started filming. Okay, so what we're going to need today, is a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle. I'm going to do an H 5.0 millimeter. I'm just going to be using some scraps. This is Red Heart Super Saver in Aran. And this is the Karen 1 pound. I don't remember the color, but it's yellow. And go get your supply. Oh, and you're also going to need some 12 millimeter eyes. Okay. And if you want to make a little face, you'll need some black yarn. Okay, maybe we'll put a face on it. And that is what we need. So go get your supplies and I'll meet you right back here. Alrighty. I did a smile. All right, so go ahead and get your whatever color you want for the top of your mushroom. Okay, I'm going to be using yellow. Now you can either do a chain 2 and do all your stitches into your first chain, or you can do a magic circle with me. All right, now we'll start out slow here. We're going to do 6 single crochets into our magic ring. So we're going to go into our circle. We're going to pick up a loop, got our 2 loops, yarn over, and go through both. Here's our first single crochet. Go back into our circle, grab a loop, yarn over, 2 loops, there's 2. Go ahead and go around until you have 6 total. Okay, and start pulling this down a little bit. We're not going to be joining, so if you need a stitch marker, you're always welcome to use that. Here we go. Go straight into your first single crochet. The way I do it is I count backwards. Like here's my loop, and it's into this V right here. That's my last single crochet, so I will count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go in there, and now in this round 2, we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch. So we're going to go from 6 to 12. So put 2 single crochets in each stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and start grabbing my tail. For a total of 12 single crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I always miscount when I'm filming. I don't know why. All right, we've got 12. So in this first stitch again, we're going to still be increasing. And we are going to put 2 single crochets. And in this next one, we're going to put 1 single crochet. So the pattern on this one is going to be an increase, which is 2 single crochets, and in the next stitch will be 1 single crochet. So it'll be 2, 1, 2, 1. So you're going to go from 12 stitches to 18 stitches. So increase, 1 and 2, followed by 1 single crochet. And I will meet you at the end of this row with 18. And still, we are increasing. Going to be going from 18 to 24. And the way this is going to look is we're going to increase in the first one. So we're going to have 2 single crochets, followed by 1 single crochet, followed by 1 single crochet. Okay, so in 3 stitches, we're going to add 4 stitches. So it'll be 1 and 2, followed by a single crochet, a single crochet. So let's do a couple. There's 1 and 2, followed by a single crochet, followed by a single crochet. Got our next 3 single crochets. We're going to do 2 single crochets in this one, followed by 2 individual single crochets. And then I will meet you at the end of this row with 24 single crochets. So if you stand back a little bit, you can see our initial circle, and then you can see this little bump. That starts row 2. I always look for that little bump right there. Right there. And that's where I start counting. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 rows we've done. So for the next 2 rows, we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. We're not increasing or anything. 24 stitches for 2 rows. You can just count to 48 or just count 24 twice. And I will meet you at the end of row 6. And it is going to start curling. That's what we want. Okay, I've done 6 rows. We now have this. Okay. Now we're going to start increasing, but we're going to make a little bit of a different, going to be doing something a little bit different. This is your front loop, and this is your back loop. Okay, that makes up our little V. We're going to be going into the front loop in this row. For this increase row. It's the only time we're going to be doing it in this pattern. So we're going to put 2 single crochets in this first one, in the front loop. There's 1 and 2. Okay, you can go ahead and mark that first one. And then you're going to look for your next 3 single crochets. And you're going to go in the front loop and do 1 single crochet in each of those. Okay. Because we're going from 24 and we're going to increase up to 30. So now we're going to go into our next one and do an increase. So put 2 single crochets in the front loop, and then put 1 single crochet in the front loop with the next 3 single crochets. So it'll be an increase, 2 single crochets, followed by 3 single crochets, an increase, followed by 3 single crochets. Okay. And at the end of this row, you should have 30 single crochets. I'm gonna guess I'm close, yeah. So when you look inside, you can see this little brim where we made this little extra ridge, because we're gonna be working into that a little bit later. So if we count these, we'll have 30 single crochets. Okay. Now, we're going to start going back into both loops. and we're going to go from 30 to 36. So we're going to put 2 single crochets in this first one in both loops. And then in the next 4, we're going to put 1 single crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the next one, we're going to do an increase, 2 single crochets, and in the next 4 single crochets, we're going to put 1 single in each of those. 2, 3, 4. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. Okay, 6 times 6 is 36. So an increase, 2 single crochets, followed by 4 singles. An increase followed by 4. And 36. Okay. Now this is fine. So what we're going to do is we're just going to give it just a little bit more girth. I just want it to have this one. Just a little bit more of a mushroomy look. So we've got 36. Let's just add like 4 stitches. There's no rhyme or reason. We're going to put an increase here in the beginning. And then we're going to eyeball and put 1 here. And we're going to put 1 here. And we're going to put 1 here. I'm not going to count. We're going to be very artistic and very creative, okay? Here we go. There's 1 and 2. Now let's just cruise on down side. And I think I'm going to go ahead and throw 1 in here. It doesn't have to be equally. Oh, you know what? This is a good lesson. Look, I had to tie my yarn. So I'm just going to make sure before I do my next stitch, I'm going to grab those ends and I'm going to place them in the back. And I'm going to go into my next stitch and grab the fresh yarn and keep that all locked in the back. Nobody knows. Did I already do it? No. Okay, let's put another one in there. Okay, and then I'm just gonna carry my little tail with me for a minute. And then I'm gonna keep going. I heard, I have my door closed because I'm filming, and I heard somebody snoring, and I thought it was my husband in the next room, but it's my dog. Okay, keep on going. I obviously am not counting, and I think I'm probably at the bottom, so I'm just going to throw in 2. I mean, if it ends up being 41 or anything, it's just going to give it more of a mushroomy, floppy look. And I think I'm going to do 1 more, and then I'm going to add another one. Let's do an increase right here. Probably should have marked the top because now I don't know where the beginning is. Oh yeah, I do, because here's my bump. Whew. I could have been really making a mistake. There we go. So when I'm looking down at it, I can see my bump. But seriously, use a stitch marker, especially if you're newer. It took me a long time to see that. Okay. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to count it just to see how I look. I ended up with 40. So, all right, so now what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and fasten off. And this is pretty abrupt. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slip stitch one, and then I'm gonna go into the next stitch and I'm gonna slip stitch, and then I'm gonna chain one, just to bring that edge down. Do my finger length. Okay, and then it kind of softens that edge so it's not so single crochet bump over. Okay, and that's what we've got. Okay. Okay, I think I'm really gonna like this yellow one. Okay. Now, go ahead and get your shroom part. And this one is pretty easy. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, see that ridge that we've created, the 24? That's what we're gonna be working in. It just makes it so nice. We're not sewing on. It's brilliant. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna join with a single crochet. And a lot of times what you would do is we would tie it on, you know, we'd just bring it through, tie it on, and then we go in there and pull up a loop, and then you have to go in there and then you do a single crochet. This is how you do it, to just join with a single crochet. Put a slip knot on your hook. That already gives you your first loop, which is what you need. Now, I'm going to use my tail here as my basic guide of where my beginning is. Okay, you can use a stitch marker. So I'm just going to fold it down and I'm just going to grab, I'm just going straight in there. And then I'm going to get it set up. Okay, and then when I bring the yarn through, I have to be careful because it's easy to do a slip stitch. I've already got the 2 loops that I need for my single crochet. And then you yarn over and you've got your single crochet. And that's a single crochet join. So if you don't want the whole mess of tying on and chain one and then going in there and then doing a single crochet, you can just do this. All right, now what we're going to do is we're just going to find these loops, those back loops, and we're going to do 1 single crochet all the way around. Just make sure you have your 24. And if you just keep that brim folded down, it just pops up for you. And I will meet you at the end with 24 single crochets. Here's a little lesson here. I've actually got 25, so I'm going to go in that 25th. I'm going to skip that first one, and I'm going to go into my second one. And I'm going to do a single crochet. And that's how I fix my problems. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to do 2 more rows of 1 single crochet all the way around. Okay, and I will meet you at the end of row 3 with 24 single crochets. There's always a way, and these are just props for work. Well, I'm going to give them to my coworkers too, but so I'm not like bugging you know, that they're not perfect or anything. This next row that we're going to do is optional. I just do it just because I don't want to have to count unnecessarily. It's not a big deal, but I'll explain here in a second. So now what we're going to do in this row, again, we've got that front loop and that back loop, and we're going to be going in the back loop. And we're going to do 1 single crochet in the back loop all the way around. So we're creating a little ridge. Well, you can't really see it, but you can kind of see it all the way around. The reason I do it is as a guideline for the eyes. You don't have to do it, but it lines them up for me, and I don't have to count the rows down. I can just look for that line there, and then I can just pop them in. And if you wanted to add arms, I did make one for a friend, and I added like little arms and legs. I used that ridge as a guideline of where to put the arms, because it was like right at the base of the brim, and I added the arm there. So it's got its purpose. Okay, there we are. Okay, perfect. Looks great. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull that out a little bit and flip up our little thing, and we're going to go ahead and put in our eyeballs. And I'm sure I got these off of AliExpress or eBay or something like that, or Amazon. I can't even remember. It's like the best deal to get them. So I'm looking for that ridge, and I'm going right under that ridge. And my tail is where I'm considering the back. So I'm just going to be in the back, and then I'm going to just pop one in wherever. And I'm just going to do one little click. Okay. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. The 5th space, I'm going to pop in the other one because I like them to be really wide. I think they look more animated. There. Peekaboo. Okay. All right, so that was row. Is that row 3? All right, so for the next 2 rows, let's go ahead and do 2 more rows of 1 single crochet all the way around in both loops. And I will meet you at the end of these next 2 rounds. Probably shouldn't have put those in. That was row 3. I should have done another row. Okay. So we've done a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Pretty cute. Okay, now what we're going to do is you can start stuffing it. Stuffings. Just go ahead and put some in because we're going to start decreasing now and get this baby done. I'm not going to stuff it all the way. All right. Most of these, I just started decreasing, and they're fine. They're just fine, okay? If you want to do so that's what we're gonna do. So we have 24 stitches. We're gonna start going back down just like the way we came up. Again, I'm gonna just use my tail as a basic guide. So I'm gonna do the invisible decrease just because it looks a little bit neater. So let me just show you how to do that. But if you don't want to do that, the hard decrease is where you go in the stitch, grab the yarn and pull up, go immediately into the next stitch, grab the yarn and pull up, and then yarn over, and then pull through all three. But it leaves really big holes, and since we're using such a big hook these are basically amigurumis, I want to leave as minimal holes as possible. So invisible decrease, front loop, go down and scoop up the next front loop, yarn over, pull through those front loops, and then pretend you've got single crochet. Okay, so there's 1, 2, or decrease, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. There's 1, there's 2, and that's what we're going to be repeating. So let's do another invisible decrease, front loop, just a little poke, scoop up the next front loop, yarn over, pull through those front loops, do your little single crochet type thing. Next 2 stitches, single crochet. There's 1, next one, there's 1. Okay. Front loop, scoop up, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And then we'll do 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet. And then that's what we're going to do to the end. And we're going to be going from 24 down to 18. And now I'm going to do an invisible decrease in the first 2 stitches. Scoop, scoop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And in your next stitch, you're going to do 1 single crochet. Okay, invisible decrease followed by a single crochet. Invisible decrease, single crochet. And yep, I'll meet you at the same place at the end. And at the end of this one, we'll have 12 single crochets. Okay, since I've got this little funnel thing, I'll start putting some more in here. And now, decrease all the way around. Honestly, it probably doesn't matter if you do a hard or an invisible, but since I've been doing invisible, I'm gonna just finish it out. I mean, if anybody wants to pick it up and look at the bottom, I guess they can do that. They'd be miring though, because it looks nice. Right, Harley? He said, yeah. And looks like I can do one more. Not easy, these last ones. And then, I don't know, I'm just gonna grab something to grab onto. Slip stitch, chain 1, and then I'm just gonna do something like that. And then I've got that. Ugh. Okay, now let's go ahead and get your tapestry and string it. And I'm just gonna go kind of in the middle of it, that big knot. And then I'm gonna find the center of my little hole there. Work it up through there. Poke it through. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah. And then I'm just going to do a little tug so I can get it to disappear. Perfect. And then let's get rid of this guy. And then we'll just sew a little tiny face. Just give him a little face. And I guess I'm going to have to do it on all of them now since... Oh well, who doesn't need a little smiley face, right? Okay. Oh, squish it. I just think it does look like a mushroom. It's just a really cute mushroom, you know? But you could make it a ball, you know, if you want. Yeah. Okay, black yarn. And let's go about 12 inches-ish. Okay. I'm not very good at all these like face stuff and, you know, sewing stuff like on. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to try to go through stitches because I want to come out the same way. So I'm just going to pick like one of these holes at the bottom. I mean, you can even go in the back if you want. It doesn't matter. But I'm just going to go in the bottom. Now I'm looking at the face. And I think I want it to go... I see these two... I want it to be symmetrical, obviously. So I'm just going to pick somewhere in here. And I think I'm going to just come up there. Leave myself a tail, and I'm immediately go over as far as I want. Okay, I think I'm going to just go over. I'm going to skip a stitch, and I'm going to go over one, and then I'm going to go down. I'm going to come out like I skipped this one. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to come out there. I'm not going through the fibers. I'm kind of actually just going in the holes. Make sure that's not getting... Okay. Now before that pulls, because it's not attached, I want to go under it so I can like pin it. Okay. So it's above that loop. And now I'm going to go right back into that hole, but I'm going to go over it. Okay, so it's going to pin my little smile down. And then I'm going to come out that hole I started. I think I learned that trick from Jada and Stitches about this pinning. I don't remember when, where, how, or whatever. But it's just a very simple little boop, you know, and it keeps it for you. I mean, I think I did. So you just pick a stitch. I skipped one, went there, and then I just went down one stitch. And then when I pulled my yarn out, I just wanted to make sure that I was on top of it. I was up here. so that I can go over and then pin it down and then come out the bottom. And now I'm just going to tie a little square knot. Not too tight because it will pull your smile. So I'm just going to tie one more knot. And then I'm just going to cut it kind of close like that. And then this is how you get rid of it. I'm just going to pick wherever I can get my hook in. I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to pull it back in there. And if that doesn't work, I'll go somewhere else and get it out of there. But if you catch fibers, you're not going to be able to get it back in there. Okay. And then you've got the cutest little mushroom that ever lived. And he stands so cute. You can't see it, but he stands cute. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another layer because I didn't do these ones as much as this. And I think I want these to be, I want them to be floppier. So I think I'm going to do another row on that. And I mean, look at that. I don't really like that. I mean, it's okay, but I don't like it. Okay. And don't be afraid to manhandle your stuff, you know. Yeehaw! Okay, I'm done. Alrighty, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. These are fun. I'm just going to get busy sewing faces on all of them. But I think it's worth it. They'll be cute. And if you can think of another color, I don't know why I did 2 greens. I don't know what was up with that. But I like how they're all just a smidge different. Some of them I did longer, so don't hesitate to experiment with that. Do longer rows, you know. All right, until the next video, I will just see you then. You guys take care. Bye.